Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Olga Bychik and I'm the owner of BeHappyRussia travel company. We all know that this year in 2022 you had no chance to come and see our beautiful city and the Hermitage Museum. This famous, world-famous art gallery has had a lot of art shows, art exhibitions this year, and we decided to show to you 5 of them that we loved most of all. Shall we start? The exhibition of Florentine sculpture in one of the rooms of the Winter Palace was captivating and absolutely fascinating. First of all, the Italian reliefs, small figurines, busts and statues are made of relatively cheap materials like terracotta, wood, majolica, plaster, and they were all rarely shown to public. Only now we can see them. Secondly, these works have previously been little studied in the Hermitage and have only now attracted specialist attention. Thirdly, it's interesting to trace the history of the museum collection. Some of the Florentine sculptures were purchased in the 19th century, and there were also some latest acquisitions, even in 2020, from St. Petersburg art collectors. A small but valuable exhibition, Exotic and Lavish China, was prepared to honor Peter the Great's 350th birthday anniversary. It represented diplomatic gifts and acquisitions of the beginning of the 18th century. They're all connected with Peter the Great. During his reign, a number of missions and embassies with gifts were sent from Russia to China, and a lot of exotic items, mechanisms, jewelry and curiosities, as well as fabrics, porcelain and wallpaper, were brought back from China to Russia. Items made of gold and silver, charming mechanical toys, engravings and books were undoubtedly of great interest to all connoisseurs of art and history. The exhibition's Spanish style, glass and artistic textiles of the 16th-19th centuries, was open in the Blue Bedroom of the Winter Palace. There were embroideries, glassware and fabrics which were created by Spanish craftsmen over 4 centuries. The exhibits were united by the bright ornamentation of the national Spanish style, which was formed due to the influence of European artistic traditions and the refined culture of the Arab East. A variety of patterns, shapes and colors attracted our attention, and we hope you are enjoying it too. The Russian Easter exhibition is open in the small church of the Winter Palace until the 23rd of April 2023. There are more than 300 exhibits on display, dating back from the 17th to early 20th centuries. Here one can see a lot of Easter eggs made of wood, porcelain, silver, glass, and even real eggshell. A lot of items here belonged once to members of the imperial family, to the Romanovs, or the Russian aristocracy. Some came from different private collections. The most famous Easter eggs were made in Russia by Carl Fabergé firm, and they are on display here too. Besides eggs, there are some board games, church vestments, icons, works of graphic art. They all tell us about the history, culture, and traditions of the celebration of Christ's resurrection in Russia. And finally, a few words about the most popular exhibition of 2022, the one that made people from different parts of Russia come to St. Petersburg and see it. It was the birth of modern art, Sergei Shchukin's choice. Sergei Shchukin was among the earliest to appreciate the work of French Impressionist artists. Those artists that were called insane and worthless in France were acquired by the Russian merchant and brought to Moscow. For example, by 1904, Sergei Shchukin owned 14 Monets. Sergei Shchukin started to buy works by Matisse and Picasso long before they became famous, and made a brilliant art collection that can be compared only to the collection of the Russian textile manufacturer Ivan Morozov, but it's another story. In 2022, the Hermitage Museum, together with the Pushkin Museum from Moscow, presented here in St. Petersburg an amazing Sergei Shchukin's art collection. There were works by Henri Matisse, Pablo Picasso, Paul Gauguin, Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, Camille Pissarro, André Derain, and many others. After the revolution in 1917, the private collection of Sergei Shchukin became the property of the state, and it was kept in Moscow. After the Second World War in 1948, it was divided between two museums, the Hermitage in Leningrad and Pushkin Fine Arts Museum in Moscow. And only in 2022, for the first time since 1948, all these works were put together on display in the small Hermitage. What we liked most of all about this exhibition is the attempt to keep the paintings on the wall in exactly the same order they were presented in the Shchukin's mansion in Moscow. As a result, we could see Gauguin's iconostasis and the Picasso room. Also, one more thing, many paintings were hanging below the eye level, which is not typical of museums at all, but it reproduced the historical hanging in the collector's house in Moscow. The exhibition was about feelings, emotions and sensations, about Shchukin's preferences and our experiences, acceptance and rejection of what and how is depicted in the paintings. Just loved it.